Hey guys, April is Awareness Month. I just found that out today. So get ready with me while I talk about it. This might be a long video. This video is dedicated to all the survivors out there who are shunned of their voices, and this is really hard for me to talk about because I'm in my 30s now. I never made a video about this, and I don't really talk about this because for a long time my family, they did not take my side, and these things happened. I was 10 years old. I went to stay at my oldest sister's house for the summer. Oh shoot, something's in my eye. My sister's husband, my brother-in-law, he touched me inappropriately. And it happened a few times whenever I would wash the dishes, sleeping or whatever. If he'd come home from work, he would come up behind me and then put his arms around me, and he used his hands to cup, try to make small talk with me in my ear. I didn't really know or understand why he was doing that at the time, but I knew it was weird. I was 10 years old. And then after that happened a few times, was one incident where it was really embarrassing that prompted me to go tell my sister right away. Trying to remember exactly what happened because it was so long ago. I believe it was the second time that the incident at the sink while I was washing dishes happened. He cupped my, I think while he was talking to me in my ear. I don't know how I knew to do this, but I was like, when I was washing dishes, I was like, oh, I think my sister's coming. Called my sister's name just to see if he would take off his hands, because I think my instincts told me that I was in danger. I tested him to see if he would take off his hands. Then there was another night where my sister forced me to stay up with her son, her oldest son, because he was crying and he wanted to watch TV. Really tired, and I wanted to sleep, and then I had to get up and stay in the living room, and we were just in the dark, me and his son. His son was about maybe 4, 5, or was he 3? I don't remember. On the other couch, I sat on my couch, and her husband walked over to the living room. All he was wearing was his underwear. Laying down on my side, like I always do, on the couch. And he laid on top of me, telling me that my sister didn't mean to yell at me, or my sister didn't mean to scold me for not wanting to stay up with her son. And not to hate my sister, don't be mad at her, and it was just some random bullshit, So I just kind of froze and didn't do anything. I just said, okay, whatever. What made me go to my sister right away to tell her what was happening was when we were outside this one day, we were barbecuing. He was asking me if my chest was growing yet, or how come my chest isn't growing yet. This was still the same summer. Then he went and poked the middle of my chest, I don't even know if I can say the words on here. Video will get flagged. But let's call it, he poked my pimple. He poked my pimple. I'm just laughing because I said pimple. It made me really embarrassed. Immediately, I ran to my sister and I told her everything. I told her all that's happened. She asked him to come inside and she confronted him, and he lied about everything. He said I was just lying. I was a liar and that didn't happen. And after that, I don't know if he still believed me, but he started treating me differently. Like, he was mean to me, angry, and he was taking his anger out on me, out on his kids. It never happened again during that summer. I wanted to bring this up because it's SA Awareness Month. I just want all the survivors to know that you are important, you are heard, and you are seen, and I see you. Because growing up, I felt unheard, unseen. I wasn't supported. In my culture, it's very important to keep marriages together. For me, I was seen as someone that was trying to ruin somebody's marriage. I was seen as trying to ruin my sister's marriage. I was only 10 years old. Fast forward to, I believe it was 2000. Was it 2011? I was 16, and one day I was vacuuming the room. While I was vacuuming the whole house. He came near me into the room to get something. He put his hands on my hips as if there was no room to go to his side of the bed or something. Usually, I felt very uncomfortable around him when I was alone. Throughout the years after those incidences, I tried to keep a brother-sister relationship with him just to keep the peace, I guess. After that incident in the bedroom, I didn't say anything at that time until I went out with my sister. I used to go out with my sister all the time. I went to go get Carl's Jr., I believe. And we were in the drive-thru, and I told her that I had to tell her something. And I told her what happened, and that I knew that he wasn't doing anything to me, but because he touched me on my hips, I felt very uncomfortable. I got really mad because this is happening again, and she went to go talk to him, and he also denied it, where he said that it didn't mean anything or whatever. I told my parents. This was really hard for me to make because my parents were living with us at the time. I feel like this little girl that I was when I told my parents. My dad yelled at me and he said, if I don't want to live here anymore and I keep trying to ruin their marriage, that I need to get out. I was only 16. I don't remember what my mom said, but I think that my mom was scared of my dad too, and that my mom didn't want to say anything. I thought that my dad would be my biggest supporter, and he wasn't. At the time, he didn't support me, and he told me to get out, that I was ruining their marriage, that I did it on purpose. I feel like that's why I have so many emotional problems, and I don't know how to regulate my emotions because the people that were supposed to protect me didn't protect me. I was turned away and ignored. Nobody did anything at the time. And I just quietly buried how I felt. A lot of people who know me know that I have a lot of problems. I get called crazy and I'm obsessive, or I think that's why I was never really that close to my family, but I still made the effort to be involved. For anyone that felt like they were not listened to you, I just want to say that I'm here and I see you and I hear you, and your experience is valid. You are valid. These things should never happen to you. Sorry that the ones that were supposed to protect you didn't protect you. My husband is very hard on me because he wants me to be strong. But in the moments of our arguments, I don't know how to not take it personally. Always been a very sensitive person. I have a defense mechanism where I laugh or I'm crying. My husband has been the one that is still actively helping me get the help that I need. I've ignored myself for a long time on trying to learn how to deal with my past and accepting what has happened and accepting that I will never have a relationship with my oldest sister ever again. I will never step foot into her house. She is the first narcissist that I've ever met in my life, because I just remembered last time I had any contact with my brother-in-law was on Facebook. All of this, I just wanted to clarify that all of this happened in Sacramento, California, where I used to live. Me and my mom and my brother, we were living in our own apartment. Her husband was constantly messaging me on Facebook, and I think I still have the screenshots. He messaged me saying that my dad wants him on my dad's deathbed, that my dad wanted him to love us both the same, equally. And I'm just like, what the fuck? That's weird. I didn't message him back. Instead, I invited my sister over to have a drink with me, to tell her what's been happening. Showed her the screenshots, all of this stuff. He still denied it. She was upset. She confronted him and he still denied it, even though there was evidence. Later on, when me and my sister fought, or we had disagreements and we just don't get along. Always call her out on her shit. She's a horrible person. I don't think she'll ever change. I'm very opinionated when it comes to my family, and tell her like how I honestly feel. I don't sugarcoat anything. She gets really offended. We're fighting. She brought up, that I was lying. I was lying about the whole thing. I was lying about everything since I was little. She just didn't believe me. I wasn't that hurt because I expected it, but then I also didn't. I was shocked. She chose her husband over me, a child. My sister at the time was like my best friend. We did everything together. She doesn't care how much it hurts me, and that she will never apologize. It would never make things better. She feels like I owe her for all the things that she's done for me. These are things that she did for me when I was a kid. Ask her and force her to do these things for me. Like feed me, take care of me, and drive me to work and help me with this and that. But it was all because in the future, she was expecting me to do the same for her. Everybody's different. I'm not saying that I never helped her. I love her kids so much, but because the way that she is, the way that her husband is, I don't have a relationship with my nieces and nephews. That was the hardest part about cutting her husband off, was because I was never gonna have the same relationship with my nieces and nephews. No, I never felt like I was that important to be talking about this stuff. People have different lives, they have different experiences, but this is my experience. I have so much love for my nieces and nephews because I know what it feels like to not have an adult role model to look up to. I took them everywhere that I could. On field trips, I chaperoned their classes. I didn't have any favorites, I really didn't. And I treated them all with the same love and care and paid attention to them. But I will never have that relationship with them again. All I have are memories. No matter how much I miss them, past the good memories, I have to focus on what I have now. My husband, myself, and my baby. And when I see my baby, she has such a different childhood than I did. She's so happy. She has such a good life, and she's just outrageous. She's everything that I wished that I was. Our experiences shape us. We are who we are because of our experiences. We just gonna have to deal with the effects of our childhood and never give up trying. Before I got married, I had so many failed relationships. I never thought I was ever going to get married and have children. At my age now, I realize that I have issues with my marriage and myself, issues parenting, because I never had space to deal with my own problems. I was surprised that as a child, when I was 10 years old, I was able to express to someone, even if they didn't believe me, that this was happening, instead of letting it go on further and letting the worst happen. If it wasn't SA Awareness Month, I would not be making this video. I had to take a break to recollect myself. I totally forgot where I was at. Let me try to remember. I can't remember. I don't have a relationship with my oldest sister, and that's okay. I'm living my life with my own family. I forgive my dad. I'm just so focused on doing the makeup instead of talking that I can't multitask for the life of me. I do. You guys have any questions or anything? You can try to comment and I will try to answer. I'm gonna finish the rest of my makeup if I can. I got some dishes to do that I'm not excited about. Just wanted to say a few more things. I am still currently working on regulating my emotions, currently taking medication for it and seeking therapy, kind of. Go talk to a psychiatrist. Like I said, every person's experience is different. We can't really put other people down for feeling the way they feel, putting yourself down for not having an as worse situation happen to you. I feel like that's the only thing we're entitled to is our experiences, the things that has happened to us. I'm fine. There's nothing that I want to do about it anymore. It was a long time ago. And thanks to myself, I stopped the worst that could have happened because I used my voice. I know that there are a lot of young people that watch my videos. I just want to say that there are programs out there and people that will listen to you, that will help you. You just have to use your voice. It's simple things like when my nephews and nieces were younger, if people were mean to them, I was their advocate. I would speak up for them. Even though my family wasn't there for me for the most part, I still learned from it, and I'm still learning, and it is possible to move on. Take your experiences for what they were, accept who you are, know that it was never your fault. Even if somebody made you feel like it was. I used to get so upset when some of my family members would bring it up and they would say they would have done this, they would have done that. But that was what upset me the most. At the time, nobody did anything for me. Thank God I did not live with them. I was just there for the summer, but I was not living with them. My life would have been hell. Yes?
I wish to